Now the Pharisees with some of the scribes, who had come from Jerusalem, gathered with him. They saw that some of his disciples ate with hands defiled, that is, unwashed. For the Pharisees, and all the Jews, do not eat unless they wash their hands, observing the tradition of the elders. When they come from the marketplace, they do not eat unless they purify themselves. There are many other traditions which they observe, the washing of cups and pots and vessels of bronze. The Pharisees and the scribes asked him, "Why do your disciples not live according to the tradition of the elders, but eat with hands defiled?" He said to them, "Isaiah correctly prophesied of you hypocrites, as it is written, this people honor me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. In vain they worship me, teaching as doctrines the precepts of men. You leave the commandment of God and hold fast the tradition of men." He said to them, "You have a fine way of rejecting the commandment of God, in order to keep your tradition. For Moses said, Honor your father and your mother, and he who speaks evil of father or mother, let him surely die. But you say that if a man tells his father or his mother, what you would have gained from me is korban, that is, given to God, then you no longer permit him to do anything for his father or mother. In this way you make void the word of God through your tradition which you hand on. You do many such things." He called the people to him again, and said to them, "Hear me, all of you, and understand, there is nothing outside a man which by going into him can defile him. It is the things which come out of someone that defiles." When he had entered the house and left the people, his disciples asked him about the parable. He said to them, "Then are you also without understanding? Do you not see that whatever goes into someone from outside cannot defile because it enters, not the heart but the stomach, and so passes on? Thus, he declared all foods clean. He said, what comes out of someone is what defiles. For from within, out of the heart, come evil thoughts, fornication, theft, murder, adultery, coveting, wickedness, deceit, licentiousness, envy, slander, pride, foolishness. All these evil things come from within, and they defile." And from there he arose and went away to the region of Tyre and Sidon. And he entered a house and would not have anyone know it. Yet he could not be hidden. Immediately a woman, whose little daughter was possessed by an unclean spirit, heard of him, and came and fell down at his feet. Now the woman was a Greek, a Syrophoenician by birth. She begged him to cast the demon out of her daughter. He said to her, "Let the children first be fed. For it is not right to take the children's bread and throw it to the dogs." But she answered him, "Yes, Lord, yet even the dogs under the table eat the children's crumbs." He said to her, "For this saying you may go your way. The demon has left your daughter." Then she went home and found the child lying in bed. The demon had gone. Then he returned from the region of Tyre, and went through Sidon to the Sea of Galilee, through the region of the Decapolis. They brought to him a man who was deaf and had an impediment in his speech. They begged him to lay his hand upon him. After taking the man aside from the multitude privately, he put his fingers into his ears. Then he spat and touched his tongue, and looking up to heaven, he sighed, and said to him, Ephphatha. That means, be opened. His ears were opened, his tongue was released, and he spoke plainly. Jesus charged them to tell no one. However, the more he charged them, the more zealously they proclaimed it. They were astonished beyond measure, saying, He has done all things well, he even makes the deaf hear and the dumb speak.